Hello and welcome to the 8th episode of the In the Lab podcast. I'm joined by my co-host Alan Musterman, and this is, by my eyes, and I think your guys' eyes too, this is going to be the best episode of the In the Lab podcast that we've had yet.
Yeah, absolutely. We had a great interview with Hall of Famer Jeff Bagwell that we're going to be showing later in the episode. We've got our usual trivia game thing and then a draft. But then right after that, stay tuned because we have an exciting interview for y'all to tune into.
I was freaking out, I'm not gonna lie. I hope you guys can't notice, but it's a Hall of Famer.
You composed yourself pretty well.
Good. And I'm a baseball player, so that's one of the coolest moments of my life. Yeah. So yeah, we definitely enjoyed that.
Yeah, absolutely. Had a great conversation. But for now, we're going to dive into a little trivia game. Mm-hmm. Me and Ethan are going to be here doing a quiz on Sporkle, if y'all know what that is. But we're going to be guessing every NBA team's all-time points leader. Mm-hmm. And so we're going to start out, and it's we got 6 minutes on our timer. I'm going to be on the keyboard, but if Ethan has any guesses, we're going to go ahead and start.
Yeah.
All right.
I think knockout times the highest scores anyway. So like LeBron. So
we've got, James should be leading the Cavs.
Kareem. So he's only the Cavs. He's not the Heat. Okay. Maybe just do Kareem and that'll.
Maybe he doesn't lead in point because he was on two different franchises.
That's true. He was a Buck,
I know Wade
too.
For the Heat.
Yeah.
I know. Oh, no, because Giannis took the Bucks one.
Yeah. Did he?
Yeah, he did.
Wow, look at you for spelling that correctly. That's awesome.
I should get some props for that. Garnett for the Wolves, I'm seeing right now.
Okay.
Yeah, we
Dirk,
gotta be quick.
For sure.
Nope, did not spell that one right. There we go. Nuggets.
Is that already Jokic, Anthony? Or is it?
It's definitely not Jokic. No.
I think it's Alice English.
There you go. Good pull.
Thanks.
Good pull. Curry's the Warriors.
I bet Reggie Miller's the
Pacers.
I bet Jordan's
Kobe's
the Bull.
The Lakers. Yeah, Jordan
Kobe,
for sure.
Of course, yeah.
Hornets. Kemba Walker.
There we go. Nice pull.
I know this one. Brooke Lopez is the Nets all-time leading scorer.
Yeah, that's so funny.
Yeah, Celtics. Is that Bird?
Yeah, I could get down to some of that. Try Russ.
Yeah, he didn't score enough.
Yeah.
Hawks is Wilkins.
Okay.
Dominique.
Good pull.
Rockets
we'll come back
Elijah
to the Celtics.
Yeah.
That makes sense. Clippers. Man, I don't even know, to be honest. It's probably. Yeah, I was thinking maybe it's Chris Paul.
Griffin. No.
We'll come back to that.
Grizzlies is Mike Conley. I know that one.
Okay, good stuff. Pelicans.
Davis.
I was thinking, I don't know. He's on that team long enough. The Knicks could be Patrick Ewing.
Probably.
There you go. Thunder.
Probably Westbrook.
I would assume Westbrook too. Yeah. Magic.
Probably would have been Durant if he stayed, but
could be Shaq or Dwight Howard.
I feel like it's
maybe?
Dwight. Shaq definitely wasn't there.
Definitely
Dwight. Iverson for the Sixers.
Oh, I was thinking Julius Erving.
Oh. No.
Okay.
I think Chamberlain.
Oh,
but
yeah.
He played for the Warriors. Nope.
Maybe IRVING?
I don't think so.
Yeah, okay.
We'll come back to that one. Suns is Booker. I know he got that.
Wow, I didn't expect that. Trailblazers, Lillard? Yeah. Kings. Oh, jeez. Mike Bibby. You think he's...
Oh, my gosh. I'll type it in, but that'd be crazy. I think it's Oscar Robertson.
Oh, yeah. Wow, and I said Mike Bibby. Look at me go. Spurs should be Tim Duncan.
Yeah, absolutely. Raptors.
Could be cool. No,
he was there one season.
Yeah,
is it just Vince Carter? No.
I think it's
Raptors.
How long was DeMar there?
Is it Bosch? No. DeMar? Ooh, that's a good one. Yeah,
there you go.
DeRozan.
Jazz could be Malone, Carmelo.
It's definitely Malone.
Yeah. I mean,
Wizards, Beal. No.
The Wizards. That's an interesting one. That's kind of tricky.
No. All right. Well, we've gone through all the way through.
Celtics
so let's circle back.
Should be gettable.
So I just feel like it has to be a legend. 26,000 is a lot.
So
it's definitely not Tatum. It's not Brown. It's nobody current.
Yeah, no, definitely not. It's not Larry Bird, which kind of surprised me. It's
McHale. No. Parrish.
Yeah, that whole squad.
I'm gonna go. I think Pistons is Isaiah Thomas.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
Clippers is crazy.
Yeah.
And it's only 12,000 because nobody stays on the Clippers.
Yeah.
Sixers, I feel like we guessed every legend. I don't know who that could be.
Sixers, yeah, that's a good question.
We've got 2 minutes on the clock. Celtics, this might be crazy.
Could be
John Havlicek. Oh my
Hey,
gosh.
come on now.
That was
That a
tough.
boy. Yeah, we're just gonna have to start ripping some crazy names, I guess. Wizards, Jordan Poole. No, I was kidding.
Kuzma.
If he was the answer, I'd lose my mind.
Yeah.
I'm kind of surprised it's not Bradley
Wizards.
Beal,
I
to
feel
be
like
honest with
Wizards
you.
has to be like a legend then, because I don't
Yeah.
remember anybody in recent. Like it's not Wall. I mean, I'll type it in, but yeah.
Yeah.
Wes
76ers.
Unseld. No. Elvin Hayes. Yeah.
There we go. That a boy. Nice.
I don't even know when Elvin Hayes played. I just know the name.
Yeah.
76ers, I have no clue.
Yeah, I can't believe
I feel like it should be Iverson. I feel like it should be Dr. J. I feel like it should be Moses Malone. No. We got a minute and 20 seconds. Clippers could be Bob McAdoo. Oh.
Double O.
McAdoo.
Oh, man.
McAdoo. No. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know who the Clippers is.
Surprised it's not one of Lob Cities or.
I just feel like it would be
How many
Blake
points
Griffin.
is it? 12,000?
It's only 12,000.
How long was what's his name? The dribble guy there.
Oh, Jamal Crawford?
Yeah.
No.
Okay.
Lou Williams?
Maybe sixth man of the
that'd be
century.
crazy.
Yeah.
It's not. Yeah. I don't know who the. I don't have any guesses for the Sixers anymore.
And I mean, I think these are kind of valid. Like these are difficult ones. 21,000 though. That should be gettable.
I know. That's what I'm saying.
Huh.
But I just have no guesses. The Clippers one, yeah, I understand it. 12,000, there's not a lot
I mean, I guess
that you can get.
try Embiid for the vibes.
Embiid.
There's no way he has that many points.
He just doesn't play enough.
Yeah, facts.
Yeah, I don't know. I think we're just going to let time run out because I don't have anything. Any final guesses?
No, I don't even know. Shout out all these guys. Yeah, there you go.
Randy Smith
and Hal Greer. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
One getting those.
The only one I know is Hal Greer.
Yeah.
Just off the name. But
I am not disappointed in not getting that, though.
Definitely not. Randy Smith is crazy. I have no clue who that is.
Never heard that person. Sorry, Randy Smith. Shout out you. Maybe we'll have you on the podcast later. But,
how do we? Oh, so the least two guessed ones.
There you go.
So 93%. The average is 76.
There we go. We did pretty good.
Very decent job.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm very proud
of us. Yeah.
Heck yeah.
That's some good polls. Hold on. Wait, is Kareem on the list?
Mm-mm.
That's rude. I don't know if they'll be able to see this, but the fact that Kareem's the picture of the trivia, but he's not even.
Yeah, that's crazy. They really just
Yeah.
I mean, I guess that's fair. They had to put somebody that you wouldn't.
I guess that's
guess.
good. Yeah, and he's the second all-time leading scorer. So
then the fact that he's not leading.
Yeah.
Any like the Lakers or the Bucks. All right, moving on. We are going to be doing a draft of the top fictional athletes.
I'm actually excited about this one. This one's going to be fun.
I had a lot of fun researching this, thinking of names, coming up with picks. I have a 12 name draft board, and we're going to do our regular coin toss. To figure out who has the first pick.
What you going with?
I'm going with tails.
All right.
This is going to be our final draft for the In the Lab podcast. And we got heads.
It is heads.
Ethan's going to be headlining this one.
I'm actually pretty excited that I get the first pick because...
I was talking to them.
Oh, yeah, my fault. I'm pretty excited to get this one. I really like this guy. I like all four of his movies. The fourth one is one of the greatest sports movies of all time. Just top tier underdog.
Yeah.
Give me Rocky Balboa.
Rocky Balboa was high on my board.
Yeah, give me
Does he only have 4? I think he has 5 movies.
I think he does. You're right. He has a 5th one that's like weird that I haven't seen.
I've only seen the first and the 4th one, and the 4th one is so good.
Yeah,
like such a classic movie. Him versus
Ivan Drago.
Yeah. He kills Adonis. Spoilers.
Not Adonis.
Not Adonis.
His dad, Apollo Creed. Yeah.
Yeah. No, that's a great pick. I have a friend from high school that loves that movie. And there was one night we went over to one of our mutual friends' house, like had a bunch of us over, and we watched it like 4 times.
Yeah, sick.
Yeah.
Every night I sleep in the American flag shorts that he was wearing.
Gosh.
Love those things.
That's hilarious. All right, so he took Rocky off the board. He was the only boxing prospect that I had. So
I mean, you could take one of the Creeds.
I could. I was thinking about it. But I feel like there's so many other names that I want to
Yeah.
give credit to. And so where I'm going to go next, I feel like I've got a lot for basketball. I've got a couple for football. So I'm going to get something a little different.
Okay.
And I'm going to go with the greatest golfer, if you ask me.
Good pick. Yeah.
Adam Sandler coming out with a new sequel to this
So
movie, Happy
excited.
Gilmore.
Yeah.
This is what I'm taking. Hockey player turned golfer.
Mhm.
Great story. Hilarious guy. Can't control his temper.
Yeah.
But
I'm excited for
Yeah.
the second one, dude.
Me
Because
too.
Scooter McGavin's coming back. I'm excited for the
I
second one.
know it's gonna be great. So I'm
Mhm.
taking Happy Gilmore #1.
Great pick. You know what? Great pick. And I think I'm gonna have to combat Adam Sandler with Adam Sandler.
No way.
Yeah. I'm going
All
football. I'm going water boy, Bobby
Mhm.
Boucher, baby.
Yes,
He's just
sir.
awesome. It's a funny movie. He's a stud of an athlete. He's not the brightest, but he's a stud of an athlete.
You don't have to be in football.
Yeah. As a linebacker, you just take the heads off people, and that's what he did. That's
Mhm.
what he did.
Yeah.
So,
No.
that's my second pick.
Bobby Boucher. Heck yeah.
Yeah.
All right. For my next pick. Oh, I should have done some research to hype this guy up a little more.
Yeah.
Because obviously everybody's going to know the name. Everybody's
Uh-huh.
going to know what he does
Mhm.
for his sport and the greatness that comes with him. I know his last movie, he's getting older. You see a little bit of him dwindling off. But I'm going to take Lightning McQueen.
I was thinking about taking him myself.
Yeah.
I think he's a 7 or 8 time Piston Cup
Yeah,
winner.
something like that. Crazy.
Bona fide
resume.
stud, just
Mhm.
bona fide stud. Yeah,
Greatest
no,
in the
that's
sport.
great pick. So that's the top 4 on my draft board are taken off.
Really?
Now. Mhm.
That's funny that it
Yeah.
worked out that way.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna go ahead and steer towards basketball.
Okay.
I think I gotta take a basketball guy off the list, and one name that jumps out to me is Jesus Shuttlesworth. So I'm gonna take him in my number 3. I'm taking a Jesus Shuttlesworth.
He got game.
You got game,
Ray
baby.
Allen.
Yeah.
That's a good one. That's a great
Thank you,
draft.
sir. I appreciate that.
I'm just gonna clap right back
Okay.
at you with basketball.
There you go.
And I'm gonna go with not the most conventional athlete, but he got it. Then I'm gonna go Air Bud.
Oh, good pick. He was on my.
Air Bud.
He was right under Jesus Shuttleworth. That's a good pick. Good pick.
Air Bud could hoop.
He could do a lot. Didn't he have like a bunch of different movies with a bunch of different sports?
Oh yeah,
yeah,
a lot.
Yeah.
I don't think he's just a one sport athlete.
One trick dog.
One trick.
One trick pony type beat. I'm gonna go just diverse athlete. This dude was a punt returner for Alabama football. So freaking fast. He could run. He ran across the United States 10 times, something like that. He's not the brightest either. I'm not having a high IQ team, but give me Forrest Gump.
Yeah, Forrest Gump. I thought he was going to go under the radar,
Yeah.
honestly. Also, ping pong.
Ping pong legend, gold medalist, right? Yeah.
Olympic ping pong
How did I
player.
forget about that?
Crazy athlete. The stamina.
I mean, just a stud.
It's absolute stud. Run, Forrest, run.
Run, Forrest, run, baby.
Yeah, that's a tough one. That's
Thank
a really
you.
good pick.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
All right, so who do I have on my board? I've got Air Bud. I've got
Oh man.
I'm completely already blanking on who I've drafted.
Yeah, you
I've got
have
Air Bud. I've got Lightning McQueen. I've got Happy Gilmore.
Airbud, yep.
Okay, so I've got racing. I've got basketball. I've got golf. I think. Yeah, I'm gonna stay diverse. I don't think I'm gonna double up on any sport. So for the next one, I'm gonna go to martial arts.
Yeah,
and I'm gonna take Danny LaRusso.
Yeah, good pick. Good pick.
Daniel-san, the Karate Kid.
He's on my big board. That's a good pick.
Danny LaRusso. That's gonna be my next pick.
I like it. Yeah, so there are a lot of names on this list that are going to be really frustrating to leave off.
Yeah, no, absolutely. So many that deserve credit.
But my dad has been giving me a bunch of crap for hating on his beliefs or hating on his thing because he thinks Michael Jordan's a GOAT and he thinks there's some other things he believes. And so I gotta give some credit where credit is due. And there is an athlete that he absolutely loves. He loves this movie. Great baseball player. And that's Roy Hobbs from The Natural.
Okay.
I've
never seen it.
He was a stud. It's a good movie. He hit the cover off the ball, literally. Like if he didn't get shot, he'd be like the greatest baseball player of all time. Yeah. So give me Roy Hobbs.
That's tough. There's a lot of names that I could go with, but
Yeah.
I'm going to keep it so that all 5 of mine are different sports. They
Okay.
all are athletes in different ways.
Good choice. Yeah.
Because I'm going to give credit to the other undrafted.
Definitely a lot of honorable mentions in this.
For this last one, may not be the highest scouted prospect.
Okay.
But he was great. Carried a team. They didn't win it because he didn't end up playing in the final game. But I'm taking Gus Matthews from the Benchwarmers.
There you go. I like it.
Benchwarmers was one of my favorite movies. Hilarious movie.
He was a stud too. He pitching. He was Shohei before Shohei.
Exactly.
He was a stud.
Shohei before Shohei at like 5'2".
Yeah. Rob Schneider's the GOAT, man.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, Gus Matthews is going to round out my draft.
I like it.
So that's it for me. We can go into honorable mentions. For me, I was anticipating you taking Lightning McQueen at some point before me. So I had to get
at some point. Yeah.
I had to get another racer, and I had Ricky Bobby.
Yeah.
From Talladega
I had
Nights.
Ricky Bobby on mine too.
He was on mine. After that, my two last ones were both basketball, and I had Bugs Bunny.
Yeah.
I was thinking Lola Bunny. I think she was low-key tougher than Bugs. So Lola Bunny / Bugs Bunny, and then I had Bo Cruz from Hustle.
Okay.
Did you watch that movie?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, the one with Adam Sandler.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, those were mine.
I had Bugs Bunny in the whole Toon Squad, but I also had a little basketball player that we didn't even talk about. I thought about it after I did my big board, and that's Troy Bolton. I didn't think about him at all.
That's a good one.
Yeah, no.
Wow. Talk about like 5'4" getting it done.
Right. He could sing too. What can't that man do?
Yeah, he had to choose between singing and his athletic career. D1 offers.
Possible choice, yeah.
Crazy.
Then I also got Benny the Jet from The Sandlot. That's a great movie. I love Sandlot. That's a childhood movie.
I need to rewatch. I haven't seen it since I was like little, so I don't remember it at all.
Benny the Jet's a great athlete, and The Sandlot's a great movie. Then I also have Ricky Bobby. I have Ricky Wild Thing Vaughn from the movie Major League, another baseball guy, just a hurler. So he was. Let me paint you his picture. He could toss the ball hard, but he wasn't accurate. So they gave him glasses, and he was a stud.
That's a crazy story.
Yeah. And then Paul Crew, another Adam Sandler from Longest Yard.
Yeah,
that was good. Bull Durham. I think I haven't actually seen Bull Durham, but it's a Kevin Costner movie. And he's a stud of an athlete too. So yeah, that's all the honorable mentions I have. I don't know if we missed anybody. I'm sure we
definitely missed some. I mean, probably from the same movies. Like you could say the
Apollo creator, Adonis creator,
Apollo Adonis, Drago. I feel so disrespectful, but the Dynaco guy from Lightning McQueen.
Yeah.
Whatever his name was.
Oh my gosh.
I know Chick Hicks.
Oh, Chuck Weathers? No, something what Carl Weathers. I think that's who he's based off of.
Carl Weathers?
Yeah. Am I tweaking right now?
I feel like Carl Weathers is the guy that plays in Happy Gilmore.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I'm tweaking.
I think that's the black actor in Happy Gilmore.
Yeah, definitely. Blue Dynaco car name. Strip the King Weathers.
Strip
the King.
Weathers.
So Strip Weathers.
The King.
That was close. It's Weathers.
No, definitely. You were close.
Okay, I'm not as embarrassed now. I'm not as embarrassed.
That's funny. But yeah, you could take guys from similar movies.
Yeah, for sure.
Kermit is who Anthony Edwards plays in Hustle. He was pretty good.
Yeah.
But yeah. Anyways, that's the wrap on our last draft.
Man.
It's been a fun ride.
Yeah.
In the Lab podcast. It's not over yet. Stay tuned. Right after this, we're going to be having the Jeff Bagwell interview. You want to hype him up a little bit?
I would love to hype up Jeff freaking Bagwell. He doesn't need much of an introduction, but he is a 2017 Hall of Fame class member. He is a 1994 MVP. He's a 1990 or 91 Rookie of the Year. He's a 3-time Silver Slugger, a Gold Glove winner, a multi-time All-Star. He's a freaking dog. That's Jeff freaking Bagwell. If he was a fictional athlete, he'd be number 1 on my big board.
Absolute legend. But yeah, me and Ethan got to sit down and talk to him for a little bit. So that'll be coming up next. Stay tuned and listen and enjoy this sad but final episode of the In the Lab podcast. It's been real. It's been fun.
Love you guys for listening. I appreciate all of y'all.
Enjoy.
Well, hey, everybody. This is the In the Lab podcast with our very first ever guest,
Jeff Bagwell.
Yes, sir.
Really doesn't need much of an introduction. We have Jeff Bagwell podcast.
How you doing?
Good. I'm doing good. Good to be with you guys.
So yeah, we just wanted to take some of your time to talk to you really quick, ask you a little bit about yourself, about your career. Before we get into you and baseball talk, I just want to ask: is there any like what are some other major sports that you take interest in? Like, are you big basketball, football?
Yeah. I like watching college basketball. That's fun.
Yeah.
Players play hard on both ends of the field of the court, so I enjoy that. Football, obviously, because it's only twice. It's kind of all week nowadays since they have Monday, Thursday, Saturday, Sunday. So I enjoy that, and I like watching golf a little bit too. But yeah, man, I don't. I watch it as much as I can, but there's the time constraint sometimes gets me.
For sure, absolutely. Were you tapped in on the March Madness? This past month.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy that 4 number ones got to the Final Four. In fact, I just saw Kelvin Sampson last night and congratulated him on a great year. So good to see University of Houston in there. I think he does a great job as a coach of that team. He gets guys to play hard. Doesn't get too much involved in the NIL money. But he's a great coach. So I was happy for him.
Yeah, absolutely. That's awesome.
A graphic of I think it was the Sweet 16 and all their transfers, and they were the only school that didn't have their entire team come from a different school.
He told me last night that the portal just ended, so he was excited about that. But yeah, he gets the kids to play, man, and it's very hard to do in today's world. With this NIL money and all the celebrity stuff, and you got college kids on big time commercials with different corporations, and he keeps all his players, and the players play hard. That's very admirable.
How have you noticed the league, the MLB, change since your time playing?
Yeah, good question. It's changed. I mean, the actual game has not changed. The idea is to score more runs than the other team. I think a lot of it has changed in a variety of ways. You could do off the field with nutrition, how they work out. All those things are different. I mean, we have 6 chefs.
Really?
It's unbelievable. They get everything that they can possibly get. It's a little bit different when I played. You get chicken soup on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. They added water to it. That's all we have for food. But, and analytics is a big part of the game now where they try and give players as much information as they possibly can to make themselves better or more prepared. Some of that is good. Some of that is too much. In the hitting department, you don't want to be thinking too much about your mechanics and things like that, because you have to compete against a pitcher who's 60 feet 6 inches. The catcher knows what you can't hit, and you got 8 fielders in front of you. You're at a disadvantage all the time. So the least amount of things that I have to think about, the better I am. Now with pitching, they do an amazing job. They can slow your arm down to how much pressure you put on a baseball to make it do certain things. They do some amazing things. It's just a different game now. It's more about the brand sometimes than it is about the team, and that's the only thing that kind of concerns me at times.
Yeah, kind of piggybacking off that a little bit, how do you feel about the introduction of the pitch clock and the potential ABS balls and strike system?
Yeah, I think the pitch clock, at first, when it first came out, as with everything, people panic. Oh my God, I got to, you really do have enough time. The question becomes, it's okay during the season, but what happens in the postseason when every pitch matters so much? But they've done a good job with it. And I think what's most important is the umpires have gotten a feel for it, where at times, by the letter of the law, the pitch clock is supposed to start. But, okay, the pitcher grabbed the ball when he covered first base. You can't start it then and expect the pitcher to throw 15 seconds. So I think the umpires have done a good job, and players have kind of adjusted to that. Now the ABS system, I'm old school. I like the banter between umpires and players. Playing first base, I got a chance to talk to all the umpires and stuff like that. What happened was they put that square on TV in the middle of home plate to see where balls and strikes are. So it's really caused and created a big stir about what is the actual strike zone. back in the 30s, 40s, and 50s, the strike zone could be anywhere from 6 feet around and then it kind of shrunk up a little bit. Now it's actually 17 inches. And it has to be 17 inches because of the way guys throw so hard now and they're breaking balls. But I think if they do this challenge system where you get 2 or 3 challenges a game per team, I think that'll be okay. And I think it'll make the umpires even better. But all in all, man, umpires do a pretty good job if you think about it. You guys are throwing, anywhere from 72 to 102, and they got to figure out ball and strike all the time. It's in the human element. You're going to make some mistakes here and there, and we're trying to make it perfect. And I'm a big believer in. I don't want to make Major League Baseball a video game. It's played by humans who make mistakes and do great things too. So I just don't want to get it too much where we're going to become a video game.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that, especially because I'm not as big on baseball, but in basketball, whenever you see like text giving out so easily just for a little a player says something to a ref or to the crowd, they get thrown out of the game.
Come to watch the referees throw out, Steph Curry or whoever.
Yeah, exactly. We came to see the best players play. Sorry.
Yeah. When analytics in basketball is the same way, it's basically throw up as many threes as you can because at the end of the day, it's going to create the most amount of points.
Yeah.
They care more about that than they do playing defense. So, it's something that's in the world now that we deal with. Some are very positive and some are kind of borderline. So you just got to deal with it.
You talked about how you're a little old school, and I was just wondering, what were some of your favorite players or who inspired you to take on baseball growing up?
Well, my father, he played baseball all through college and played semi-professional baseball in the 50s, in Canada and stuff like that. But, he was a big baseball fan, and we come from a family of Red Sox fans, and East Coast Red Sox fans are rabid, baseball fans. And that's all we talked about. And we don't have cable. We didn't have anything. We had 4 channels, and I'd be on top of the roof trying to get the antenna to move the right way, and he'd be yelling at me, no, left to the left, to the left. Just blurry feed of the Red Sox game. So, and Carl Yastrzemski was my favorite player growing up, which, he was probably my size and got the most out of his ability. So I love that. And being a Red Sox, it worked out great. But, I appreciate all eras and, what players can do and, the evolution of the game. I enjoy the history of it.
Yeah, kind of. So I'm a baseball player, and I've always dreamed of being a professional baseball player. What is it like growing up a huge fan of one team and playing for a different team?
Well, the funny thing about that is I was in one team, and I got drafted by the Red Sox. Traded in 1990 to Houston. And I was a kid. I didn't know anything about Houston. I'm from the Northeast, and it was Boston basically for me. We didn't go to New York. I was scared of New York. And then all of a sudden I get traded to Houston. I'm like, the only thing I knew was Nolan Ryan, and I thought of tumbleweeds and horses. And Houston's anything but that. It's all concrete here. So, but it's I learned at a very early age the business of baseball. And to get the opportunity, it was a great opportunity for me to get to play, because the Red Sox at the time had Wade Boggs, who was a Hall of Fame third baseman, and a couple other guys in front of me. So it got me to a team that I got a chance, and I played well in spring training and got lucky to make the team.
Absolutely. What is, looking back on your career, what is one of your favorite moments, whether it was on the field, off the field, just during your time when you played?
You know what? I've had a ton. I've had some incredible teammates, some incredible things. I think people ask me what's the best thing that I've had happen on the baseball, and it really had nothing to do with me. Daryl Kyle threw a no-hitter in 95 that I was a part of. He was my best friend and my roommate. Then we won the division in 97, and we've been so close for 4 or 5 years. That was a tremendous thrill as a ball club. And then, honestly, and I wasn't playing, I had come back from Colorado to watch Craig Biggio trying to get 3,000 hits. And when he got his 3,000 hit, I have never felt so happy for somebody in that situation, because I knew what it meant to him. And that was a big moment. that I always remember. But what I take away from most of my baseball is not so much the game; it's just the people that I played with. My teammates were just great, and still friends to this day.
Yeah,
That's awesome. That's really awesome.
yeah, it's crazy to see those like connections staying.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Teams really bond you. So yeah, being on the baseball team, I name dropped you a lot and said I'm interviewing you because it's a pretty big deal. And we had so many Astro fans, and they were all just like, "You have to ask him about his batting stance. You have to ask him about his batting stance." And so, kind of, how did you find that stance? How did you figure out that it worked for you? How did you construct it?
Yeah, I was always kind of tinkering in my swing, trying to figure it out. I mean, that's all we try and do, and because we're always failing, so we're always trying to figure something. And it was my 1994 year. It was in the beginning of the year. I had asked Tony Gwynn to sign me a bat to me. So he sends it over to me, and it says 2 bags, keep the same stance. And the bat is over there in my house. And so I was like, oh, Tony Gwynn said that. So that's pretty cool. He's actually watching me. The second part is, okay, what does Tony do? He spreads out a little bit to keep his head still and goes from there. Somehow, some way, that's what I ended up trying to do. And somehow, some way, I ended up with what I had. And it was not intentional. I stepped back. I do a lot of weird stuff. It was a very difficult swing to manage, but it worked out. But that's where it all started from. It was Tony Gwynn.
That's awesome.
Just keeping good balance and keeping my head in the same spot. If you don't move your head, you got a better chance.
Yeah, absolutely.
Is there any like major obstacles or injuries or anytime you felt like you couldn't come back from or anything like that throughout your career?
Well, I've had 4 surgeries on my shoulder. My last one was a replacement, but when I played, I hurt my shoulder in 2001. I played the whole year with a torn labrum. Then I had surgery after that. And, generally they read this stuff on the bottom lines and stuff that says somebody had successful surgery. Mine was unsuccessful surgery.
Yeah.
So I struggled with that. So I played about 3.5 years where I could barely throw it in the air 90 feet. But I still played because I was playing first and I still could hit. It's when I started to watch the ball get off my bat kind of in a different spin that I knew it was almost time. But my shoulder really derailed it. To be honest with you, the good news is we were winning in 2001, 4, and 5, but it really took a lot of the fun out of the game because it hurt. My shoulder hurt so bad, and I had to go through so much just to play every day.
Yeah, I've had knee surgeries, and they're definitely some of the hardest things.
So rehab stinks, and it's if you can't, when your mind works and your mind is like you need to do this and your body's not responding, it wears on you. It's a tough deal. So I talk to a lot of our players now that go through injuries and stuff, to let them know I've been there and I get what they're feeling, and to keep going because at the end of the day is you only get one shot at this, and you can't screw it up. And if you can still put a uniform on and still do something, it's worth the effort.
Who was the toughest pitcher that you faced? Or like somebody you looked forward to facing or something like that?
I don't know if I've ever looked forward to facing guys. There's a couple of guys but I tell this to all people. The hardest pitchers I've ever faced were Kevin Brown and say Pedro Martinez. Yeah. The best pitcher I ever faced was Greg Maddux because Greg Maddux is every at bat, every pitch. You couldn't think with him. It was always different, and every pitch that he threw, I felt like I had to swing at. Now, the Braves back in the day were getting this far off the outside part and this far on the inside part, so it made it a little bit easier on them. But just the command and how he manipulated the baseball and during counts made it very difficult and very challenging.
For sure. Who are some of your current favorite players to watch or to keep up with?
Yeah, obviously I work for the team, so they're all my favorite. I've known Jose Altuve for since he was a kid in the minor leagues. I love Jordan. I love Tucker and I love Bregman and I loved Correa. Justin Verlander, all the guys that have left. George Springer. I'm a fan of our guys. And there's other things. I mean, I've tried to dislike Aaron Judge just because he's a Yankee, but everything I know and everything I've seen of him, he's just an amazing person and an amazing player. So I cannot help but like him. I enjoy greatness no matter if you're playing basketball, football, or baseball. I enjoy watching great players play. because they make it look a lot easier. And with my career, despite where I ended up in my numbers, it wasn't that easy. And I'm sure it's not that for them either, but it looks a lot easier than what I had to deal with. But I enjoy all good players.
Yeah, it's from our perspective, like we assume that people are good people, but we don't really get to meet them. We see them just playing sports or on social media. So from your perspective, it's a cool
Yeah,
perspective.
well, and that's a normal thing. I think, like, there's guys on other teams that I want to hate, and then I meet him, and I'm like, damn, he's a. Oh, no, it's one of those things where you hate the person you're playing against until he's on your team, and you're like, damn, he's a good player and he's a team player and all that. And so that's the fun part, though. And I know so many people in the game that I can make phone calls and say, what's this guy like? But yeah, that's part of the deal. But that's part of what makes things great, and why you like and dislike players on different teams. Like, oh, I hate that guy, but damn, I'd like to have him on my team.
Yeah,
Mhm.
absolutely.
Yeah.
For sure. If you could play now, who would you like to face?
uh, I don't know. There's a lot of guys that got some really good stuff. I would like to face the best guys. I would love to face Justin Verlander in his prime, because Verlander loves throwing fastballs and I like hitting four-seam fastballs. No, it's true. I don't. There's some guys out there that I might not want to. I have never lost the thought, the knowledge that this game is hard as hell and it's not easy. So you got to be careful what you wish for. But I always wish you always want to face the best just to see what it looks like, and you might like it. You might hit well off them, but just I think everybody that's real good. I mean, I watched Hunter Brown, who pitched last night for us.
Yeah, he killed it.
Watching Hunter, to watch where he's come from and to watch how great he is now, it brings joy to me. But yeah, there's guys I'd like to see what it looks like at home plate, whether it's as good as everybody says it is. Because there's a lot of people that play now don't think that we could play now, which I think is funny, but that's okay.
I know that you've already said that you're still involved with the Astros. What exactly do you do for the team, or how are you involved? What do you?
Well, my quote unquote, my title is senior advisor to the owner and senior advisor to baseball ops. So I do everything, all the way up to spring training. I spend the entire spring training there, go between the big leagues and the minor leagues. I'll leave for Asheville and Fayetteville next month to go see our young kids playing the minor leagues. I talk to the guys in the office. I talk to our managers. I talk to everybody. So I do a lot. I do way more than I did when I played. I put it that way. Life was a lot easier when I played, but I'm very involved with the team, and I enjoy it. It's good for me. It keeps me involved, and trying to get us going in the right direction as we kind of transfer away a little bit from all the players that made us great in the beginning. Like, the only one really left is Altuve.
Yeah.
And that's just because great players make a lot of money, and we can only afford what we can afford.
Yeah, you've mentioned this a couple times with kind of the mental side of baseball, and I don't know another sport in the world that if you fail 7 out of 10 times, you can be
Yeah, no
a
doubt.
millionaire.
The hardest thing
And
to
so,
do.
yeah, absolutely. How did you deal with the mental aspect of baseball, hitting a baseball, and just getting through the failure?
Uh, I don't know. I mean, I think a lot of it was growing up with my father. My father was very tough on me when I was a kid. Not like, you know, beat me up and stuff like that, but he was very honest, and it was about getting stuff done. If you're going to do something, do it right. Uh, and I've always been able to handle that. But baseball's, I think, because if you just took the average person and said, okay, you're going to be in the big leagues today, but you're going to hit 200 and you're going to fail 8 out of 10 times, and go ahead and go home every night and listen to the fans boo you and people say stuff about you on TV and on the radio and stuff. It's a tough gig. But I think as you play it your whole life, you kind of get used to it a little bit. The thing that you have to learn is that you have to put it in perspective. If you do fail 7 out of 10 times, you're an all-star. And so and look at every other sport, like you said. If I shoot in basketball, if I shoot 3 out of 10, I'm probably not going to be in the league very long. If I could 30% of my passes, I'm probably not going to be in the league very much in football. So it's very, very difficult. But yet it's very, very rewarding because we get to play every single day. So you can be really bad one day and then be really good the next. So it's a big ebb and flow of a 6.5 month season. It's tough. It's tough mentally. And to be honest with you, that's the difference. That's the difference between good players, or put it this way, minor leaguers, good players, and great players is all mental. Everybody's got talent. It's just who can handle it more mentally.
or what is your World Series prediction for this season? Who do you think you got going all the way?
Yeah, well, I have to say us, and
Yeah.
us beating the Yankees to get to the World Series, and then I'd love to face the Dodgers and beat the Dodgers.
Mhm.
Everybody thinks they're unbeatable, and in a 7-game series, there's no such thing as somebody always can get beat. And that's the goal, and that's what everybody's pushing for. There's some great teams. I think the American League, the East they got some good teams, but I don't think there's anything that's that dominant there. And in the National League, we just beat the Padres 2 out of 3, but they're a good team. Dodgers are obviously a good team. You got the Phillies. The Braves are going to be good at some point, but it would be nice to face the Dodgers again. Like when we won in 2017, it was really cool because we beat Boston, we beat the Yankees, and then beat the Dodgers. And I was like, that's a pretty good road to a World Series right there.
It's a gauntlet for sure.
Yeah.
Are there any players currently that kind of remind you of yourself?
I hope not. I hope they don't swing like me, but I don't really compare myself, or I don't think anybody compares. I just like players that show up every day. And what that means is they post. They play every day. They're not looking for days off. They play through good times and bad times and are always there for your teammates no matter what. And I like players like that. And it's not often that you see a lot of those players now, and a lot of it's not their fault all the time. The organizations think that you got to rest people. It's like in basketball when they have what do they call that? Load management.
Load management. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
They try that stuff here too. Like, oh, he must be tired. He's been on base too much. I'm like, really? I said, I'm never tired of being on base.
Oh, yeah.
They do a lot of that. So I don't agree with all that because I don't see any production that makes it like, oh my God, they're so much better because they're taking days off. I think for a team concept, guys that play every day, you can always count on them if you're not the guy, that you have that one guy or two guys or three guys. That's what Craig Biggio and I always prided ourselves on. You could count on us every single day in the lineup and never had to worry about that. Whether we're sick, hurt, whatever, we always playing. I think there's a lot to that. And we don't get it as much now. And part of it is because I think that the players nowadays are brought up to not playing every day. Mm-hmm. And the organizations allow it. So it's twofold, which actually drives me mad.
Yeah, reliability, availability are very rare in sports nowadays.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, I feel bad for basketball players. I do. For people that go play. I know what it costs to go to a basketball game. And if I was coming in and let's just take Anthony Evers. Evers is coming in with Minnesota, and he decided to take an off day when he came to Houston, and I just spent $1,000 on family tickets to watch him. I would be. And I'm not saying Anthony Edwards at all. I'm just saying in general, you're hoping that guys play. So take your off days at home when your fans can see you 41 games a year. Don't do it on the road.
Yeah. Yeah, it's crazy. Like obviously the regular season, but then there's players that do that in the playoffs too.
I don't. Yeah. I don't get it. I don't. It doesn't register in my mind.
So you kind of mentioned the Dodgers, and I was thinking about them. There's been talk of either a salary cap or salary floor, something like that. What do you think of adding that or having it at all in the MLB?
Yeah, well, I went through the strike in '94, and it's a difficult period to go. Anytime the word salary cap come up, Major League Baseball goes berserk. Excuse me, the Players Association goes berserk. They want free market and all that. I know the owners want it because they don't want these big contracts anymore. They want to share TV rights. They're tired of paying. And I get this. If we say we lose, I don't know, just say we lose $10 and we pay our players and do all that kind of stuff. And then all of a sudden you look at the Pirates who spend nothing. They make $30 and we have to give them money to make $30. It's just a weird deal. Like how making more money with us because they're not putting the money back into the team. They're keeping the money. So I think that it should bother everybody. There has to be kind of a floor and a kind of a ceiling if you're going to do it. But it's going to be very interesting to see what happens here after the end of the 26th season, how that's going to work, because there'll be some sort of fight between the owners, and then they got to fight off the players. So it should be interesting.
And with deferred payments too, I don't know too much about contracts and contract situations, but I know how they deferred Shohei's contract. The Dodgers a lot of that sort of stuff.
It was actually a brilliant deal, but that'll probably never happen again. You have to have like $450 million in cash to make that work, and not many teams have that. Can't take loans for it or nothing. But all the other ones that the Dodgers did are deferred money. I guess if you can do it, I mean, they're owned by a massively rich group, and they can do it. So, but nobody else can. So everybody feels like they're getting squeezed on that deal. But like I said, in a 7-game series, you never know who can win that game.
Well, before we get you out of here, is there anything that you wanted to say to maybe some upcoming baseball players like my guy here that have dreams of making the major league someday?
The only thing I can say is if you want to do it, you got to put the effort and the energy into it. It's like any other thing that you do. Whatever that you want to do, you can't half-ass it. You gotta go out and do it. You got to spend the time and spend the energy to do it, so that when you're all said and done, you can look back and say, "I did everything I could. It just didn't work out." I tell that to our kids in the minor leagues all the time, and I tell it to our big leaguers too. Don't be 57 years old sitting on your couch going, "Well, if I did this, I could have done that." No, that's your fault because you didn't do it. So don't be that guy. Just go out and do everything you can. If it works out, great. If it doesn't, it doesn't. But you gave you everything you can.
Absolutely. Well, we really appreciate having you, taking some time for us.